Elderly man diagnosed with Alzheimer's decides to end his life by pulling the trigger. However, it turned out to be just a hairdryer. The couple shares dinner as usual. His wife, like always, asks her husband to pass the pepper, but he deliberately hands her sesame sauce and bread. The wife grows visibly impatient, yet the pepper shaker he's used for 20 years now appears to him like a lump of mud. Paul can't even remember that his mother-in-law has passed away. His wife sighs, dismissing it as one of his jokes, but the next moment, Paul suddenly picks up a banana and takes a bite, peel and all. It's then that his wife realizes her husband might be suffering from Alzheimer's. Paul's condition deteriorates rapidly. Phones become abstract objects in his perception. The doctor he's brought in asks if he knows the current year. Paul bizarrely responds that it's 1965. Clearly, his memories are rapidly disintegrating. Soon, the phone in Paul's vision transforms into droplets of liquid, dispersing into the air. This means the very concept of a phone has been completely erased from his mind. Paul had long suspected something was wrong with his body but refused to acknowledge or confront it. However, when he catches his wife's sorrowful expression while talking to the doctor, he's forced to accept the brutal reality. An overwhelming sense of confusion and panic consumes him. The world, after all, is a projection of our inner state. Since developing Alzheimer's, the external world continually dissolves and shifts with Paul's mental condition. To represent his inner anxiety, the landscape outside transforms into Van Gogh's Starry Night. Desperate to prevent further memory loss, Paul creates reminder signs and pastes them on every object, but new challenges quickly emerge. He begins imagining himself locked up and starts arguing with his own reflection in the mirror. When he finally comes to, only endless despair remains. Paul spots what he thinks is a gun in the bathroom, ready to act, only to realize it's just a hairdryer. His brain has deceived him once again. One evening, his wife calls their children home for dinner, hoping family might reawaken the old man's memories. But in Paul's perception, everyone's faces have become distorted, with only his wife remaining clear. Everyone assumed he would never forget his wife. Yet on this day, a single sentence cuts deeply into her heart. Paul shouts at his wife,
Vous êtes la femme de ménage.
clearly having forgotten her very image. But moments later, he's captivated by a woman's appearance, immediately asking if she'd be willing to be his model, revealing his lifelong profession as a painter. All the paintings of his life were created for his wife. No matter how many times he returns, he would still be drawn to her, still be mesmerized even if her entire image has now slipped from his memory.